Sri Mahants, Kotaris, Tanedars, Samajis and Satsangis to this Vakyartha Sadas conducted by the Balasins of Nityananda Gurukul. Today's topic for Vakyartha Sadas is what Swamiji spoke in today's morning satsang.
So, today morning in the satsang, Swamiji said that the blind spots that we leave while we are living the principles in life. So, my question is that what are blind spots?
Blind spot is a part of you that you don't really want to find out about. You just leave it. Okay, let it be the way it is. It's okay, I don't care about it. Maybe you might be scared of a spider and you might just leave it. Okay, it's okay, nothing's gonna happen. Okay, spiders come, I'll get scared, but nothing's gonna really happen. But that's only a blind spot. It can affect you in life, but that's only what I understand as a blind spot.
So what I feel about a blind spot is when there's a situation or some kind of incompletion you have that you leave unattended. You don't attend to that and make sure you get completed. So when that gets more bigger, it can become into a blind spot that any other situation that happens like that, you'll never attend to it. It will become like that.
Also, adding to my Yoga Mata's point is what I understand as a blind spot is that it's a suppressed emotion that as time goes by, we just forget about it. Mostly when, like for example, we get, take Shambha's example of getting scared of spiders. You get scared at one point and then because you don't want to relive that moment again, you just suppress it in so much that next time when you see a spider, actually you get so scared or you the emotion goes so deep into your unconscious that you are not even aware of that emotion and that becomes a blind spot in your life.
So I have a question. Swamiji told that the blind spots that you leave unattended when you go higher and higher in life, find out those, right? But what does that do to you? Why do you have to find them out? What does it do to you when you go higher in life? What do those blind, how do they affect you? What effects do they have on you?
See, what I feel is that, let's say we take an example of you getting angry. See, many times you'll get angry, but sometimes you'll just suppress that anger. But over time, what happens is that anger will just it'll build up in you, and one day it might just explode like a volcano. For some time, it'll be the activity will keep on happening. It'll keep on suppressing, but at one point of time, it will just burst, and all the lava and everything will come out. Like that, the blind spot, if you just leave it, it's like suppressing the blind spot. So later on in your life, it will affect.
Just adding to what she is saying, Swamiji actually told, he himself gave his own example. He told that when he had this thing, his guru, he met so many people in his life who was teaching and helping him. So one of the person, when he was in Varanasi, he was actually having the cigarette and he was smoking that. And he showed to Swamiji, and Swamiji avoided wanting. He took it, but he didn't do anything with it. But that stayed in him, because what he had was, because they're all enlightened beings. So he was like, oh, if I do that, I'll get enlightened. So even the slightest desire, or even that is also a blind spot. So when he was there in Varanasi, even the slightest desire which he had, those came up, erupting inside his being. When he's supposed to get enlightened, when he's about to get enlightened, all those erupted. So just because Swamiji was there, fortunately in Varanasi, he just inhaled the smoke or the dead burning body. He inhaled and pushed it inside himself, the desire disappeared. So what I feel is that when even the slightest desire or even the thought which you have, all those are also blind spot, which when you are having the highest spiritual practice in your life, those will get erupted and they'll affect in your spiritual path.
So adding to both of their points, a blind spot may not even be very large. It might be something very, very tiny that you won't even recognize on your daily life. But those are the major cause that affect you when you're on your path of enlightenment. When you're really close to the door and almost on the other side, the smallest little problem will erupt, and that would be the reason of you kind of dropping back. So a blind spot may not even be very large. It might be as simple as a small desire to, eat an ice cream or something. But even that blind spot should, be looked over and completed with.
So if anybody has any question or any comments until now, whatever we spoke on the Vakya this, you can put it in the comments below and we'll answer to them. So answering to Ma Shamba's question, so what I feel is, see, when you go to a higher state of consciousness, whatever the blind spot is at that level, for example, if you're level number 2 of consciousness, then if you're in that type of level, then those blind spots we have will not, we'll go to a higher level that will become redundant to us. That's what I feel.
I have a question with what Yogamata told. If we have to, she's telling us to leave it, it'll become redundant. Then why did Swamiji tell us to find out about it if it's going to become redundant anyways?
Answering to the previous question, so what I feel is when you have you do something wrong, you have inside yourself, then you don't even speak to anyone, and you don't even open with anyone, you'll feel so scared. If the same thing repeats again, you'll start feeling so guilty. So the blind spot, when it opens up, you'll get so scared, it starts paining. So when you open up and just complete with that, it'll all get healed and never comes back.
So answering the question that was asked, there are two cases. Blind spots, while your cognition rises, certain blind spots may become complete on its own. But some of them you might cherish as cute and keep them with you and say, oh, it's not a blind spot, it's just something I enjoy, it'll go as time passes. But those are the blind spots as you go up the stage of consciousness that you may hold within you and not even realize it's a blind spot, and that has to be completed with.
So what I feel is, answering to Shaba's question, so what I feel is only when you find out the blind spot, you will even know what is a blind spot, and you will complete it. Once you complete it, you can manifest various different powers, and enlightenment will be easy for you. That's what I feel.
Adding a story to it, so many of us will be knowing the Angulimala story. Even in the starting, even if it have been his guru has told him, his blind spot is that he still doesn't understand that killing so many people just for a thumb, just because guru told him, and he doesn't, the blind spot in him is that he doesn't understand that it is causing suffering of many lives. So his blind spot goes so much to the extent that he even is ready to kill his own mother. So when Buddha comes, he was about even ready to kill Buddha. Like how we have blind spots and we are still arrogant. Like how Swamiji came into our life and helped all of us. Like how the same way Buddha, whatever, even if Angulimala would have been arrogant, Buddha still showed his compassion and taught Angulimala, and after that only Angulimala itself became a different person. So what I want to tell you all is that even if you are lining out the blind spot, at least if you are accepting that we are ignorant, Swamiji will help us and complete it.
So this is a question. This is a question from Ma Shraddha Priyananda. So the question is: so is a blind spot something we feel as part of us, or is it something we do without being aware of it?
See, for what I understood as blind spot is any cognition that we have which does not align to Swamiji, that can be a blind spot. Because ultimately what are we achieving for? We are achieving for the state, the space and the powers which Swamiji has. So anything not aligning to that will be a blind spot, because you might go, when you go to the higher states of consciousness, at last if you hold on to those blind spots, that'll it'll be like a glass covering and you won't be able to see the exact form, the exact state and space of Swamiji. So what I feel is a blind spot can be something that whether you are aware of it or not, it happens, or even though you know it happens, you feel so goody about it that you want to keep it.
So what I understand as like why the blind spot should be like, is a blind spot a known thing or an unknown thing? What I personally feel is that a blind spot is a completely unaware part of you, because of the emotions suppressed. At one point you just feel okay, this is a redundant part of my life, I'm going to leave it there, and you leave it in the unconscious box of your life. So literally that is still a part of you, but it's kind of like tagging along with you like a kind of like a dead luggage. But when we realize that we're carrying a dead luggage and we're like, okay, this is like literally garbage, I'm just going to discard it. That's why Swamiji told us to note down all our blind spots from today, from like the morning routine and the highest spiritual practice, so that we can discard all that garbage and unnecessarily, instead of carrying it, lead a blissful life and get the things that Swamiji actually wants to give us.
What I feel about it, blind spot is neglected, unlooked part of you.
So a blind spot really at times kind of integrates into your personality. It's sort of something that you may not even know about. Like for example, like a blind spot about cherishing maybe sleep or being lazy. Like you might say, oh, my body needs rest, but it might be part of your personality to be a very slow and relaxed and laid back person. But you don't even know that it's a blind spot. You're just cherishing something that's part of your personality, and society accepts it as part of it. So I'd say that it's an unknown part of your personality that's integrated and you're totally okay with it, and you don't know about it as a blind spot per se.
So, Ma Shraddha Priyananda has a question, and the question is, so blind spot is something from the low identity. What I feel is, blind spot cannot be from the low identity or high identity. It's some part that you don't even want to look in of you, so it can't come from a low identity or a higher identity. It's just something that happens when you're evolving.
What I feel as a blind spot being a lower identity is, I feel that blind spot is just a part of you which you're unaware of. So I don't think so you can cognize it as a lower identity or a higher identity.
What I'm able to feel about a blind spot, it doesn't come from either or, because when you have a blind spot, you don't really think that it's, it might be good for me or bad for me, and you develop blind spots from a young age. Like you look at society and pick up things, and that itself becomes a blind spot. Maybe for someone it might do good and they like benefit from doing a certain action, but for you it might have a negative connotation. So it changes from person to person how you pick it up. I think it doesn't really come from a negative or a positive identity.
So what I think is that actually blind spot is basically how you tell in your life, like, it's okay about this, it's okay about that. Swamiji actually gave an example for this. He told like how Ramba, Menaka, Urvasi, all those people dance around Indra. Like Indra is like us. We also we rule the whole life. The whole life is us, and we are Sadashiva. We know that we were Sadashiva before, and all this incompletion, like self-doubt, self-hatred, and all those things were like going around, dancing around us, and we thought, okay, they won't affect us. Let them dance. We're just enjoying what they're doing. We'll not be affected by it. But slowly, they come closer to you. At one point of time, when you wake up, you will know at that time that you are bound by them. The same way with blind spots. At the beginning, you were Sadashiva. You know that you were Sadashiva. There was no blind spots. But when you started leaving one by one, telling it's okay of this, it's okay of that, lots of blind spots came now. That now the whole identity became low. It's not because of the low identities blind spots are coming. It's basically like a virtual, like vicious circle. Because you started telling it's okay and all that, you started having low identity, and because you had the low identity, all the blind spots started coming. Because you had the blind spots, the low identity came, and you became more and more powerless, and because of that, more blind spots came. So it became a huge vicious circle that you don't even know where it starts and where it ends.
So I have a question. Now we all were discussing of how blind spots come, what does it do to you, how is it affecting our spiritual path and all that. How is it that we can be aware when any blind spots come? See, mostly none of us know when the blind spots come, because when the situation happens, we'll not know where the blind spot is unless and until you are conscious about it. And sometimes when you're analyzing your whole life, at that time you find it, but not in the present moment. How is it that we can be getting it and clearing it away so that all of us without any blind spot can continue our spiritual path?